If you have scrap bins that are overflowing, do I have the solution for you? I'm going to make 6 different quilts with red string blocks. For each of the 6 different quilts, I'm choosing different center fabric. I'm going to lay out each quilt in a different setting. We're going to put the blocks in a different way. I start with these sheets. I use sheets because they're old and it's time to change them up, and I was sick of them. Instead of giving them away to the thrift store, we use sheets and we cut them into 10-inch squares. To get my center strip, I take 8 strips with the fabric. I get 3 out of each of the 8. 24 is how many I need. And then I choose my reds, all my scrappy reds. I put the center strip right side up and I put the first red right side down, and it is ready to quilt. And the reason I press it is because it kind of works like a flannel board and it sticks to itself. If you carefully pick them up to sew them, they just stay in place. It's really nice and it just feels like it works better to me. So this is why I do it this way. When I set these first strips on the sheet, I always make sure that the sheet is right side down. And this is so that I'm working on the lighter side of the sheet. It just works better all around. It takes 24 blocks, so I do all 24 blocks at the same time. For you, I'm just going to show you 4 so that you get the idea and the gist of it without having to watch me do 24. So you just do a seam. It doesn't even have to be a proper 1/4 inch. It can be a little bigger. It matters that you sew straight. And I have done this in groups. If you're trying to make group blocks for something, this is a great one because we square the block up when you're done. So 14 different people can sew, and as long as they're sewing fairly straight, then this is a great group project. It's also a great project for yourself when you're just tired and want to use up scraps and want to make something so beautiful. I love cutting them apart, throwing them in my lap, and pressing them. Notice I press as it's already laying there, and then I press it carefully so that it's all the way open. Somehow, beginners don't press it all the way open, and when you goof that, it is hard on you for the rest of the time. So see, open. And then you just pick another string, you get the size you need, you put it there so that it just extends barely over both sides of the block. And then sew them on. It gets faster and faster the shorter the strings are as you go down to the corner. I find this so therapeutic to just sew these strings because they create so much beauty. So again, make sure you press open, and keep going. And as you get to the bottom, you decide, like this one, I could probably have put something there to cover the whole corner. It just depends. Some of them it only takes 3, some of them it takes 4, some of them it takes 5. It depends if you have skinny strings or fatter strings, and they all work together. So you don't have to have one or the other. You can go back and forth. Some can have skinny, some can have chubbier, and it all is happy. When you get to the corner, the triangle at the bottom, I actually like to cut triangles. It just feels like less waste for me. So I'll cut them the way you just saw me, where I just take the end of a bigger strip and cut a triangle off. Or sometimes before I even start, as I'm getting fabrics ready, I'll take some fabrics and I'll cut triangles so that I just have triangles ready to go for when I get to that bottom little part. And I like them very varied because triangles are going to definitely touch each other, and you're going to see how they fit together. So you want to vary what you have be your triangle. And see here, you could just take the strip and sew the whole thing there, and then you'll be able to trim that off. And sometimes you get a triangle from the trimmings. Experience will teach you how to do this and what to do. Probably the only real precaution I have is you want to make your triangle big enough because we have to trim these blocks, and you want the triangle to be able to hold its own when it's done. If it's too teeny, it just feels annoying to me. You want to make sure that the triangles are big enough that when you trim the block to not just have seams all in that corner. Now we make use of the mystical, magical joy of YouTube, and voila, the other sides are sewn and there's 24 blocks ready for us to trim. This really is my favorite part. I know I say all the parts are my favorite, but I love this. I take my 9.5-inch square, I use the diagonal line, I line it up, and I use titanium blades, my best titanium blades, because if you have wonderful titanium blades, it cuts right through all these fabrics. If you haven't ordered yours yet, we have an affiliate. It's in the link below. Please go there and get yourself some titanium blades for, I don't know, do you need them for Thanksgiving or maybe Christmas? It's coming. I want you to notice that as I trim, I do 2 cuts upside down. I do that because I can better see where the sheet is, and I want to center my block on the sheet the best I can because I want the stabilizing of the foundation underneath me. I cut the first 2 cuts under so that I can see the sheet, and then I flip it over and I center it on the cut I've just made, and it centers right there. Close enough is close enough. If it's not exact, these don't matter. This is the most forgiving block you could ever hope to make. What you see on top are the borders. So we're going to border them, and I'm going to lay them out in completely different layouts. This one is called Heartstrings. It's from my Heartstrings group online, and you make the big heart. And you can see the heart right there because this quilt is filled with love and joy and happiness. I decide if I like the reds. I'm still checking to make sure I'm happy with placement. Once I get my placement down and I'm happy where I've put them, then I audition, yes, this is going to be so great with my wonderful borders. And so I number the rows, and I do this with every single one. And the reason I pin them together, even though there's just only 24 blocks and I could just do it another way, is because if I get the rows marked and I pin them together, I can have multiple quilts pinned together waiting for me by my sewing machine so that I can just sew blocks together when I'm in the mood, and they'll all be ready. This one turned out so wonderful. It's Cindy Lou Who, and I'm going to do this in kind of a circular diamond pattern where you just go around and around and around a center block. You can see me deciding on, oh, I don't like that red by that red. Okay, quick, move it. Nope, not that one. You just do it till your brain is happy. And somehow this Christmas one just turns out spectacular. I love how it looks. Gorgeous. I have one pattern where we turn the corners. I want you to see the completely different look that it creates just by turning 4 corners. It just gives it a totally different effect. For this one, my border isn't going to be the same as the center. That's a Cindy Lou Who Grinch pattern, and I'm actually putting the Grinch around the edge. This one starts out to be a zigzag print, where you just go up and down, but then I get halfway done and I decide, oh, I'm going to go the opposite way. So I do, and it's so interesting because as I go the opposite way, I don't know if you'll see it, but it looks like eyes to me. And so I just kept having the urge to go get some Minky and applique some eyeballs like those were glasses, and then right down there I wanted to put a big mouth and have it be like a monster. But it's kind of beautiful on its own if you don't think about monsters. Pretend I didn't tell you that and just enjoy it for the beauty that it has. This one is so simple, and I don't know why I love it so much. I love furrows, and it's just the straight lines going down the quilt. I just think it has a classiness to it, and it's just beautiful. This is fun to make so many blocks in so many ways because you kind of get to satisfy all your desire to make the different patterns and make them all at once. And this one I already had sewn together in the typical way I sew them, where I put them together and make them into their block. This one was red with red, and I kind of like how it looks with its beautiful pattern. Let's look at the other 5 all quilted and done. Quilting just brings them to the top level. Here's our Heartstrings one. That's the heart in the middle that then we echo around. And it looks so beautiful, and I love how the border sets them off. It's fabulous, and it's going to be great for a child with the wonderful owls in the middle. This is our Christmas one that I put the corners back so that it just circles around and around. We're going to do a different one with the corners. Every who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, were singing without any Christmas at all. I love the Grinch. I just think the story is so beautiful, and this is going to make a wonderful gift for my friend. Here we are. I moved the corners for this one, and this one has a really sweet floral print. Because it's so sweet, it just does this pattern so well. See the floral, and I put the same floral on the back as I had for the centers, and I will do that oftentimes just because it looks so great. Okay, our monster, that's not a monster. It's just a wonderful mirrored image, and I love how it looks, honestly. And I didn't put a monster on it, and I'm not going to because I decided not to, but I think I might have to make one in the future and make a monster. Our furrows, it's just a classy look. I put a beautiful yellow on the back, Strings are just the best. If you have an overflowing scrap bin, now is the time to get it out and attack it and knock those scraps out. I hope you have a wonderful time sewing yours, and order some titanium blades. You'll be glad you did. Stay merry and creative.